NAR chief economist, NAR chief economist Lawrence Yun forecast 9% increase in home sales for 2025 and 13% for 2026, with mortgage rates stabilizing near 6%. Right now, we're seeing about 7 and change, like 7.5. Tell you, it doesn't slow anything down, especially here. I have a listing in San Jose, and my phone's been just ringing off the hook. But the point here is we don't have the inventory. We're going into that in a minute. Sales are still strong, but we just don't have the inventory for the demand that's out there. And this is my regional take from his national point of view. So stick with me here. It says, over the years, you see past clients doing well because they're homeowners. It's true. When you buy a house, you get economically locked into that payment unless you refinance. But if you bought a house in 1999 or 1990, you're very comfortable paying what you're paying today in 2025. It's just a normal thing. 2023, 2024 sucked badly because there was just no inventory. The demand was still there. Maybe in other parts of the nation, like St. Louis and wherever, but Santa Clara County and the Bay Area has not really been hit by anything. Prices are continuing to rise. I want to say here, Yoon explained that household equity in real estate is at a record high. This means that it's been a huge increase in wealth for realtors' past clients to the tune of $35 trillion. There's a big difference between you being a homeowner and you being a renter. And if you can't afford something here, I talk to a lot of people that rent, and I'm like, go buy a house in Nevada, in Stockton, and rent it out. I know it sucks that you have to become a landlord, but at least you're building equity and you're building wealth for your family. At least you're doing something, right? And I'm buying another house in Nevada because my parents are moving to Henderson, which is near Las Vegas, because my sister lives there. And it's just another build for my family. When my kids get old enough to be able to buy their house, I can sell those homes and give them the equity, not give them, but have them have the equity in partnership so that they can move on forward, right? Homeowners' wealth steadily rises while renters' wealth does not. It's just a point that's been talked about for years. And if you're going to wait for the economy to crash and the housing market to crash, people have been waiting 15, 20 years. And just think of all that equity that you've lost because you couldn't afford to spend another $100,000 or $15,000. You weren't willing to go up that extra $10,000 or $15,000. It sucks to buy houses because there is competition. I can tell you I'm going to have like 10 or 15 offers. I'd be happy with 5, but there's so much traffic on this house that it's priced right. It's priced to go up and to a very uncomfortable spot. And that's my job. But there's just not enough housing to go around. Another house, exact same floor plan, sold in 2 days. I'm pushing this out a bit because I want to get more traction, more juice into it. But anyway, you explain to the room that realtors that home sales depend mainly on jobs and mortgage. When more people work, they have the capacity or they're in a better position to buy a home. Duh. He also said right here, Yoon addressed the mortgage rates during the second Donald Trump presidency. Mortgage rates in this first term at 4% were the good old days. He doesn't expect it to go back there. Like I've been saying for the last couple of years, 5.5% to 6.5%, which is right here, is going to be the norm. So get used to that. 7.5%, that's just to stave off the inflation. I get that. You can buy your rate down to 5.5%. You just add points to it. It sucks, but that's just the way it is right now. But think about if if you pay a couple thousand now versus having to completely refinance it and reset reset your mortgage to day one, it's better to pay your points now if you're staying in that house for 7 to 10 years. Yoon said we can expect 6 to 8 more interest rate cuts. He also gave my advice to the Federal Reserve on when to make these cuts. My advice to Jerome Powell, do it January rather than December. Agreed. But here's the problem. We don't have the supply. If it comes down, people that are in 2.5%, 3%, 4% rate, they're less likely to move if it's still at 5.5%. Some might, but we're still going to see very slow sales with high demand, and we're going to see it go continuously higher and higher and higher. So affordability is going to be out the door. The other thing that we need to talk about is building new homes. We're not building enough new homes to meet the demand, which means population growth, people coming in, people wanting to buy second homes, people wanting to buy investment properties, etc. We have to be able to buy, and this is a federal problem. This is a national problem where we have to tell the builders, get out there and build. The last decade, we've gone down to like 30% of where we have been on the build side, right? We're looking at millions of homes back in the 80s, 90s, and 2000s. In the last decade, it's gone down to barely a million new units, or housing starts, they call it, housing starts every year. And we need to build that up. That needs to become part of the problem or solution to the problem of affordability. And yes, we're building tons of houses here in Santa Clara County. We're running out of land, but we're squeaking in what we can. So you get 3-story homes, which suck, but that's just a sign of the times, right? There's condominiums you can buy, all that kind of stuff. Maybe the worst is coming to an end. Added unidirectionally, I think there's going to be roughly 10% boost of existing home sales in 2025. That means we're going to see, instead of 300, on average, we're seeing like 500 homes throughout the year for sale at any given time, to maybe 550 to 600. We need to be at 1,000 for San Jose. We need to be at about 2,000 for Santa Clara County, and we're roughly half that throughout the year on average. Yoon projects that the new home sales to be 11% higher in 2025 and 8% higher in 2026. Forecasts median home price to be 2% higher in both years. So we're definitely in a quandary here, and there's no easy way out. That's all I'm going to tell you. Stress house of the week is this one in San Francisco, Ryan Street. List price decrease is a 4-bedroom, 3 full baths, built in 1924, 1,500 square feet. And this thing looks like a little tiny cottage. Not my listing, nor would I want it. Originally, it was listed at $850. Now it's down to $790, and it's been on market 99 days. I don't think it's a good buy. This one is Homes Near Apple, Peacock Ave, not my listing, for a solid $2.7 million, 4 bedrooms, 2 bath, 1,400 square feet, built in 1958. Looks like it was, maybe we looked at this one. I think this is a flip. Somebody came in, bought it off market, and flipped the hell out of it. What tells me that it's a flip is these garage doors are key indicators, and then also the trim, white with black, is typically the mode that most flippers are doing these days. So new kitchen, new floor. I went to a house the other day showing a house down in Gilroy, and they put in new flooring, and it's that laminate flooring, and they cut it too tight to the wall. You have to have like a 1/4-inch gap because floors breathe. They expand and contract over time, and there were so many bubbles. It was annoying. So I'm having a problem with laminate floors these days, mostly because they're building them thinner and thinner and thinner. It should be at least 3/8 of an inch. So if you buy something that's a 1/4 inch or something really thin, you're going to have bubble problems. You're going to have pops. You're going to have issues with that laminate. So be careful what you buy out there. And yeah, there you go. This one right here, Mountain View Home of the Week, Velarde Street, not my listing, $2.9 million, 2-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,400 square feet, built in 1938. And the first agents, if you're watching this, you make your first photo picture of the house. I don't care if it's ugly, but this isn't even a fancy house, right? This is just a regular house. I swear we looked at this already. I mean, granted, that should be your primary picture right there. That's a beautiful picture. Look at that. That should be your primary picture, not a picture of the living room. Agents, you can do better. Okay. And then 40 days on market. So we have 77. It's come down a bit. 90 days on market. It's come down a bit. And REOs, bank-owned properties, have popped up just a tiny tenth of a fraction. For sale, we're at 352. I'm sorry, 353. And we've closed 246 homes so far this year, which that's not a lot. That is nothing. Same thing with Santa Clara County. We've only closed 462, and we're in the middle of February. That's 6 weeks, 7 weeks. We just don't have the supply to meet the demand. Even if we got up to 700 right now for San Jose and maybe like 1,200, we would still see a high volume of sales happening because the demand is much higher than what supply is popping up. And that's the problem for affordability, not for sellers so much. All right, that's it for now. I'm Vito with Abitano. Thanks for watching. We'll see you out there.